My colleague Ajay Sharma is in conversation with Gautam Singhania, the CMD of Raymond, on realty and much more. Listen in.
No, certainly two things. One is that we are doing affordable housing. So 1 BHK, 2 BHK, which has got a lot of traction. Number two, we have created the best product in the market. Number three, post-pandemic, people have realized that they would like the independent homes. And number four, we are delivering far better than we had thought ourselves because there's a lot of focus on the business. And a combination of the product, price, location, delivery has really built up confidence in our project. And people are seeing that this is coming up. In fact, there were enough of the competition that was talking in the market that Raymond has never done anything, which is a typical talk that Raymond has never done, they cannot deliver. I put out a few Instagram posts that said silencing my critics, and I put up the pictures of our buildings. And as we speak, we are 4 days away from the first 3 buildings reaching the 44th slab, which is the top slab. So 3 buildings will be fully up, constructed on the 31st of this month. So it's heartening to know that we have achieved something. The 4th building is coming up, balance 6 are coming up. So we're in a space where we're coming up very quickly. And we realize that when you're coming from behind in a crowded space, you have to run faster. Raymond has put its name on a project, and like whatever Raymond has done in its life, we will deliver to customer delight.
Right. Gautam, can you give us a feedback on what are your branded apparel guys telling you in terms of how is the merchandise starting to roll out, or a lot of orders online? Can you give us a color on how the visibility is, because you must be preparing for the upcoming festive season with some forecasting.
So we saw March, April as very bad, but I think we are coming back very strongly. August has been good for us. September is good for us from the projections we see. So I'm saying I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm looking forward to a good season.
Especially in tier 2, tier 3, I remember you also, just before the pandemic hit, you had started rolling out smaller format stores as well. So what is your feedback on ground on the smaller towns beyond the 20-30 top cities on the way it's unlocking?
The feedback I get in smaller towns is, what is the pandemic? They don't believe there's a pandemic. They don't feel there is anything. So it's a very different feeling.
Right. Gautam, today we are speaking right now when you are touring in Europe, meeting your top customers. What is the scene there like? Because when we talk to a lot of peers of yours, but different categories like home linen or kids apparel and all of that, these guys sound very buoyant. In your own customer profile, how is the business sentiment, demand, visibility? We gather that the economic rebound in the West, of course, and the rest of the world is even stronger.
Yeah, like I said to you, I think Europe and America, the demand bounce back is very strong. One, we are getting a good share of the business of our existing customers. And because, say, in the UK, you've got the Arcadia Group that's gone under, you've got TM Lewin that's gone under. So that share is taken by existing customers of ours. So their business has grown to that extent. And they have also rationalized in this whole global rationalization, they've rationalized the number of suppliers that they work with. So it's worked well for us.
So you see your share of exports rise meaningfully going forward?
I think exports is looking much better to us. I mean, certainly the best in the last 3-4 years.
Right. And what about the domestic business? If you could give some mid-teens, or what kind of growth do you see next 24 to 18 to 24 months for business overall here, back home in India?
Well, we should be low teens, but it's really coming out of the pandemic. The more India gets the vaccination, the more people that are vaccinated, the more, see, if you see the malls have opened up, shut down, there are still issues within the country. And obviously, tourism plays a very big part in demand. I mean, a lot of NRIs who come back to India, they shop in India, they like to go back to their favorite brand. A lot of people working in the Middle East come back with money to the country. So all that plays a very important role. So I think if we just come back to pre-COVID levels to start with, I think we would have done well.
Gautam, you used a word recalibrating the fundamentals of the company and strategic focus areas for each of the business. Where do you see the vision of the company from here on? You have obviously used this downtime to take a lot of deep, closer look at the business model. If you could give us some color on the roadmap overall, what's the strategic vision of the management for the company from here on?
So I think, when you recalibrate, you got a good chance to reset and look at your cost structure all over again, look at the way you do business again, and find new ways to do business. Like I was telling you, if you're doing Zoom today, it's just a lot more efficient. I don't have to be in Bombay. You don't have to be where I am. It is more, in whichever way you look at it, cost efficient. We still achieve the same end result. I mean, we're still doing sales in the market without travel, and travel comes out as a cost. So there are many ways we've looked at a cost reset. We saved a substantial amount of cost, and we looked at different ways to do the same business.
So do you see scope for sustainable improvement in margins because of these measures you've taken? And even cost on the raw material side is improving?
Yes, I mean, these are all long-term measures. Otherwise, they'd be no good. So you have to do it, and then this discipline is to stay with it.
Just one last word on your tools and component part of the business, which was not really seen mainstream some time back. But I'm told that it has come back quite strongly, and perhaps got to do with the way manufacturing engines in the country are humming in other sectors. What's happening there in your view?
So I think our tools business, it was really a question of us focusing on it with the other priorities that the group have. But we've got a good team in place. That business is growing very well. We're capturing market share. And whether that's stat or auto component, we're doing reasonably well. So I'm actually glad you said that, because a lot of people make loose comments, and specifically in the media, without any understanding of the business. I'm really appreciative of the fact that you have looked at even our small businesses and are aware that they're doing well. And you'll probably be aware that the group is doing extremely well today across all its businesses. And we have some great plans moving forward.
So what are the couple of triggers in the company to watch out for? What should shareholders be watching out for in terms of news flow or other triggers which lie ahead?
Well, if I tell you, then it wouldn't be news when I did what I did. So just leave it. I'm just saying, I'm very bullish on India. Okay. I'm very bullish on the future. I'm very committed on what we are doing. And I think, the organization is very committed to what it's doing.
Well, Gautam Singhania is playing the realty segment via affordable housing, and talking on textile, he looks at the export market, which in fact he says has been the best in the last 3 to 4 years. So that's interesting. He also sees scope to improve profitability and margins from here on. We're going to take a very short break right here on the show. Be right back with more on the market.